Life update. Let's have a little catch up. Coming from you on a Tuesday night, sitting watching the football training. Welcome to the Self Concept Bestie podcast. I'm your host, Laura. I feel like every few weeks I'm starting to just do these in the car. So again, apologies if the sound quality is not as good because I do not have my microphone with me. So yeah, just apologies for that. Before I get started, I had a proper giggle with my little boys on the way up in the car. My youngest said to me, "Do you have a beat for your podcast?" And I'm like, "What do you mean a beat?" And then, "Do you know, like a beat?" I was like, "Oh, you need to explain." He started doing, "Welcome to Laura's podcast." I'm like, no, unfortunately I don't, but maybe it's something I need to get on. Maybe it's something I'm going to need to channel. Maybe you can help me with that. So yeah, I thought this week's podcast, let's just have a little life update because, you know, life has been feeling a lot lighter recently. I mean, a lot lighter. And there's been a few things that have stood out for me. One, I've had a realisation. I keep on seeing a lot of spiritually connected people online that have stopped drinking, and a lot of people, I feel like when they come out of addiction, they seem to go down a spiritual route, which is great. But I've also noticed, I think, what I've realised why it is these people stay away from alcohol. Because what I've noticed about myself is whenever I've had a drink, and you know what, a glass of wine here or there, I'm not meaning that, but I'm meaning if I've been out and I've had, more than a bottle of wine, that the next day, that even when I feel okay physically in my body, like I'm not hungover, my mind feels heavy. It feels really drained. It feels really low. And not in a depressed or anxious kind of way, but just in a way that it feels lazy. And it's actually not a good feeling. Because what I've been working on to find this happiness and contentment within my day-to-day life, finding all of these small, beautiful moments, which I'll touch on, they are not as visible when I am suffering the next day after consuming too much alcohol. Now, that is not me saying that I am not going to be ever enjoying a bottle. Let's face it, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it will just be a glass at the weekend. But I definitely find myself not looking for that, that night out anymore, that heaviness, that party, because I almost know what the consequences of that are, and it's me feeling rubbish. And what I've came to realise is I actually used to feel like that all the time, not because I was drinking, by the way, but just because that was my whole mindset, because especially when I was depressed and anxious, but even after I'd got over my anxiety and depression, there's still that victim heavy mentality of, nothing's going right, and you couldn't see all the beautiful things that were happening. So now when I have that one of the days, it feels mental, it feels like, oh my God, like hell on earth. And I look back and I really took the time to reflect, because that was my day to day. That is how I would feel day to day. And to me, that is crazy. That I spent all of the years feeling like that. And now that I don't feel like that more than what I do, sorry, I'll wait there. Now I only feel like that occasionally because my baseline is more of a contentment and happier level, that when the heavier days come in, they feel so much bigger than they ever did. And there's been times where I've questioned, oh my God, have I went totally backwards here? And I know I've not, because guess what? After an hour or two, I'm back. I'm back to feeling, myself again. But it feels so loud because it's not now what I'm used to, and it's really got me realising, I don't actually take that for granted, how far I've came and how I can sit in this contentment and happiness, even in a lot of uncertainty. Even when sometimes life isn't throwing me the best hand, I'm still finding the moments of joy, the glimmers that are out there, or I'm choosing to not react to what is happening and not live in that fear and trust that what I've done and what I'm doing is getting me to my bigger picture. It's getting me to that North Star that I've written down, that's my dream goal, my outcome of where I want my life to be, that passion that I want. So when I think about that North Star and where I want to go, this is how I feel in that. I feel that contentment, that happiness. And being able to have that right now, even when I don't have all of the other external things, it's pretty massive actually. And I feel a lot of gratitude for that. And if I can help one person to even feel that, I know that I've done my job. My job here is done. My purpose is here. Because everybody deserves to have that. And life can sometimes throw us these curveballs, but recently, what I've realised is how I react to the curveballs. Do I make them mean anything bad about me? No, I do not. Do I sit there and be like, woe me, why is this happening to me? No, I don't. Actually, I've been asking, what can I learn for this? What is this showing me that I can learn from? What is this teaching me? Where am I reacting to this? And when I did react, why am I reacting? What internally is this showing me that's needing still to be brought into the light? And see, being able to just take that accountability for me, it releases the need for any external validation. Because I'm the only one that can control my perception. I'm the only one that can control how I feel. Something I teach my boys, you're the only person that can feel something. Don't come at me and say, but he done this or she done that to me. That's fair enough, they maybe did, but you're the only person that can feel that emotion. You're the only person that can feel that disrespect. You're the only person that can feel that anger. They didn't do that to you. You done that. You created that feeling from something previous. It's up to you how you want to handle that. Do you want to let that person, that outcome, challenge your whole day and woe is me? Or do you want to decide to be like, that doesn't define me, right? It's kind of pissed me off a bit, but it's not going to ruin my whole day. I'm going to move forward anyway because actually I know who I am. And you know what? I'm not disrespected. And if they want to treat me like that, it's more of a reflection on them than what it is on me. Being able to sit with that. And if it did trigger you, why? Because I've had something that's came up recently. And it's somebody who has, I would say, consistently put me down in front of my kids with common theme of, Laura, you are useless. So that's what I get. So when it's been said and my kids are there and it's like, Laura, you are useless. And I've challenged it. My reply was, does that make you feel good, disrespecting me in front of my kids? And the reply was, calm down, I'm only joking. I'm only having a laugh. And I'm like, no, did that just make you feel bad? Did that make you feel better about yourself because you're disrespecting me in front of my children? Did I say anything? And it's happened again. And at one point, it happened and I ended up getting quite upset. And it was a day that I was feeling overwhelmed anyway. There was just loads going on. I was just, do you know that way where you've got loads of things on your plate? And I'm used to a pretty slow life now. I've created a very slow, calm-paced life. But that day it wasn't slow, it wasn't calm. I was overwhelmed. And it happened again. the disrespect happened again, and I got really upset. And again, instead of reacting to that person, I sat and I'm like, what is this highlighting in me? And it was triggering me because I was being disrespected. But it was also triggering me because I was a bit out of control on how my boys were perceiving that. Because anybody, any parent that's listening, you know, kids watch, they learn. They don't really learn from words, what we tell them. They learn from what we do, our actions, who we are. That's what they learn from. So when they're seeing that more than once, by the way, what is that telling them? Because my fear was it's showing them that they can disrespect their mum, that it's okay. So what I done is I actually sat them down. So instead of me reacting to that person, yes, I had a cry. I reacted internally. I let myself feel it. But I didn't go and blow up and say anything because that person doesn't deserve to hear what I've got to say. That person doesn't deserve me to be like, you deserve to treat me better. Do you know what? Not even, excuse me. I'm not even wasting my breath. Going to explain myself. Sorry, that was my phone ringing. I'm not going to even waste my breath explaining to somebody who will not understand it. So I went right to my kids and I said to them, I need you to understand that that is not on speaking to me like that or anybody like that. People might say that it's a laugh and that's okay, but that isn't when it's a direct disrespect in front of you, and I don't tolerate that kind of behaviour, and I certainly won't tolerate it from you either. It's not something that we do in this house. And that's something that I've always taught them. It's in our house, because there'll maybe be other rules when they're in other people's houses. So when they're in my house or when their kids are in this house, I've got a tolerance to what is accepted in this house. So there's a baseline that they all need to follow, a simple, respectful rule. But also what happens is they get away to be kids and they get to be happy and they get to live life, like life. It doesn't need to be that serious, but there's a line. So when I spoke to them and they're like, no, I understand that there's a line, I was just going directly to them and implementing the lesson instead of me wasting any energy and feeling any sort of way by going directly to that person in an argument, because what's that going to do? Drain my energy the rest of the day? Because certainly no, I would not get the outcome that I was hoping for. And realistically, do I need him to respect me? No, I do not. I don't need respect from that person. I just need to know that my boys will not be tolerating that they know that I won't tolerate that, because I don't tolerate disrespect towards myself. I don't disrespect myself, so I certainly don't expect it from anybody else. So through this last week, after that's kind of happened, I felt so much just really light and just, you know, looking for all these little glimmers, that gratitude in my life, the little tiny happy moments. And for once, I've not felt guilty about like relaxing and really just being like in our own wee bubble. School holidays have started. I've had some belief coding sessions, one that I've been actually getting an advanced one done on myself, which, that is intense. It'll be all together this week, it'll be 7 hours we'll have done in the session, like massive. So cannot wait to come back to you with the transformation that's happened. But not only obviously the manifestation of the job that I spoke about last week, like amazing, then the trip that I've got planned with my friend. So I was wanting to go away up the north of Scotland to this one of their beautiful beaches, and I really didn't want to go myself because I was terrified that I was going to be, on one of the like murder Netflix documentaries, because I'm camping in my car on my own. And my friend messaged me and she was like, Laura, oh my God, we should do a sunset at this beach. And I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been wanting to do. I was like, let's do it. So it's arranged. The trip is booked. Do you know all these little tiny ones? But do you want to know what the biggest one? The biggest one for me has been one, on Sunday night, my eldest had the option if he wanted to like stay at his dad's or wanted to come home, and he wanted to come home, and I was like, oh my God, I love that. And last night we're sitting, all three of us in the living room watching the football. And yes, we were watching the football. That's the last bit of the story. But before that, they wanted Irn-Bru, so they nipped round to the shop and they got their Irn-Bru, and then they came with a little flower that they had picked for me. And my youngest gave me it. And I was like, oh my God, thank you, it's so kind. And then, but my eldest was like, it was my idea to get you a flower. And just that alone, that they have thought, let's get Mum something nice when we were out. So we're sitting, we're chilling. I've got on my glass Irn-Bru at the other end of the couch because I was sitting I'd moved up closer to my eldest, so it was away at the other end. And I just seen him get up, and he picked up my glass Irn-Bru and handed me it. And he's like, oh, I thought you'd maybe want this. And you know that, you could be sitting listening to that thinking that is so bloody small, right? But see, for me, that tiny, thoughtful gesture that he's seen this glass Irn-Bru sitting on the floor. It's actually nothing to do with the glass Irn-Bru. It's the fact that he looked at it and he thought about me without even asking me. Without even asking if I wanted it, without me having to tell him or ask him, can you pass me my juice? He just picked it up and thought, Mum, I want that, and handed me it. It was almost like that selfless gesture. And see the tiny, tiny little things that we sometimes would maybe miss. I was just sitting, smiling to myself, like looking at the pair of them. And I was like, you know what? We're doing just bloody fine. We are doing just bloody great. And I was just, that way where us as mums, and maybe any parents to be fair, we always doubt if we're doing a good job. Could we do better? You know, it's always that, isn't it? And last night, you know what? I thought, no, I'm actually, you know what, Laura, you can sit here and say it. You're smashing this parenting thing. We don't always get it right. But who does? Like, nobody's perfect. There's no rule book on us being amazing parents. But see, when you see the little tiny glimmers of the energy that they are seeing in the house, the kindness that we show each other, the gratitude that I try to show them, the energy that I try and bring to their life, and that when that starts getting reflected back to me in them, I'm like, yes, that's all I ask for, that's all I want. I couldn't care if they're doctors, if they're lawyers, whatever the hell they are. Do you know what I care? I care that they're happy and they're kind people. That is it. Everything else comes second. Are you happy and are you kind? Because if you can get that foundation right, then you're going to be fine in life. They are going to be fine. So that has just been the icing on top of my already super grateful week. And then I've also been invited to this retreat as well for free. I've been gifted this retreat for free on Sunday. I'm hoping I can make it because I have got my kids. But just that, the little opportunities that I'm noticing and highlighting, that I'm allowing my brain to register and be just so deeply, deeply grateful for, it's not something that I'm taking lightly. And I think that it's important. I just want everybody to be able to feel that. I think in life, I know a lot of people, it might be, you know, I want that car, I want that house. But the reason we want these things is because we instinctively think that's what's going to make us happy. That's what's going to make us whole. But actually, what if you can already have that happiness? What if you can already have that contentment? Like I said to you yesterday about the whole job thing, the money thing. And here's me still, by the way, like I haven't even started yet. So, you know, money's still tight. But I'm still here, happy, content, and knowing that everything is working out, that I am supported. Because why would I want to ruin every single one of my days wrapped up in fear, wrapped up in what am I going to do? Because guess what? Every time I handle it. Every time shit has hit the fan in my life, I put my big boy pants on and I handle the shit out of it. But what I've done before is I've ruined the whole week before that, and then for me to handle it anyway. So why am I going to ruin any days? Why am I going to ruin any ounce and pour any negative energy into something that I cannot control, that, guess what, might just turn out to be okay? Because what if it all works out? Just ask yourself that. What if it all works out? And if you're ready to step in to who you've always been, to uncover who's always been inside of you, but has been programmed to believe that they're maybe not good enough, that they're not worthy, come and join us in the community. It is open now, it is live, and you get a few added extra wee bonuses added on. Go ahead and check out the website, and I will see you in there. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, today has already been an amazing day.